Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's DealerOn webinar, 10 Proven Steps to Dominate Your Next Sales Event. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by DealerOn. For anyone who isn't familiar with DealerOn, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. When we got back from NADA, we were awarded the Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Award for top-rated websites for an unprecedented 6th year in a row. We also took home the AWA Award for Best Websites, plus FCA announced that we're now an approved vendor. Big things are happening over here at DealerOn this year. We're still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. Do you want to know more? Yeah, you do. You can check us out at DealerOn.com. And by the way, I am going to be emceeing the 3rd annual Women in Automotive Conference. This amazing event is July 9th through the 11th in Orlando, Florida. It's going to be focused on training and retraining women in our industry to improve their skills, advance their careers, and find the highest level of success. So if you want to make your way to Orlando in a couple weeks, well, shoot, I'd love to see you. Early bird pricing ends May 31st. To find out more about the Women in Automotive Conference, please visit womeninautomotive.com, and boy, oh boy, I hope to see you there. We have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Scott Empringham as our presenter today. Scott Empringham is the owner and CEO of Flashpoint, a social-first digital agency that boasts over $1 billion of cars sold via social and counting. For more than 20 years, his passion has been helping car companies and their retailers break through the clutter using digital marketing and social media to drive results in the areas that matter most: sales and service. Scott has worked with nearly every major OEM and well over 2,000 dealers, both in the U.S. and overseas. Flashpoint has garnered tremendous recognition for their unprecedented social media innovation and technology, including numerous awards such as the National Telly Awards and Event Tech Awards. With prestigious accolades like Best Use of Technology and Best Use of Facebook, it's no wonder that Scott has become an in-demand speaker at some of our industry's biggest conferences, such as Digital Dealer, Brand Innovators, and Think LA. He can be reached at scott.empringham@fpcdigital.com. Joining Scott today to provide dealership insights and real-world results is Amy Fulford, Marketing Director for the Home Run Auto Group. For 23 years, Amy has joined forces with automotive dealers from all tiers and levels to stay relevant in advertising, media, and marketing. Her goal is to open new avenues and opportunities for incremental sales and create connections with consumers that build long-term relationships. Amy has worked and trained dealers with Buick, Cadillac, Ford, and Chevy on a regional level, and now works with over 26 individual dealers as partner of Moxie Marketing Club. You can follow Amy on Twitter at Amy Kraus. Whew, that was a lot. By the way, both Scott and Amy will be presenting a keynote panel at the upcoming Digital Dealer Automotive Workshop in Chicago, June 6th and 7th. They're going to be joined by a couple of other experts from Google and Facebook, and they're going to be taking a deep dive to present best practices, proven strategies, and inside tips that are going to help you increase your sales, service, new and used advantage now. For more information, you can check out digitaldealer.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference. Feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? Our good friends at Flashpoint, they're giving away some awesome prizes on today's webinar. First, one lucky attendee is going to win a Snapchat campaign valued at $200. It also includes everything you're going to need: personalized account management, the media buy, as well as a custom Snapchat geo filter. That's pretty cool. Then one lucky attendee is going to win the grand prize, a $1,000 custom ad campaign designed to drive shopping traffic to your website. And Flashpoint will handle everything. All you have to do is give them a vehicle offer and then sell the cars. One thing they ask: if you love the results, that you agree to give them a testimonial so you can become a case study for other dealers. Awesome prize for your dealership. You have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned. And who knows, you might be one of those walking away with an awesome prize today. And at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to get a short survey. So fill it out because we're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. We want to hear what you have to say. And hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation, so tag us in it. You can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio. You can also hit up Scott Empringham at Scott Empringham and Amy Fulford at Amy Kraus. We look forward to seeing what you're saying. All right, everyone, let's get started. Let's learn 10 proven steps to dominate your next sales event. Let's say hi to Scott first. How are you, sir?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh, always a pleasure, sir. And Amy Fulford, it's always nice to have somebody that's on the dealership side come onto the show. So thank you so much for doing this for us today.
Thank you, Eliana. It's great to be here.
Love it. All right, so I know we have a lot of information to get to. Audience, I did get a sneak peek at the slide deck. It's awesome. So make sure you sit back, relax, take great notes. And which one of you would like to tell this great audience that we have today all the kinds of things that we're going to be learning about? Scott?
I'd be happy to. So we're going to go for 5 things. Number one goal is we're going to offer some insights from 2 sales events that both Amy and I worked on and give you kind of an inside look at step-by-step how you can take advantage of some of the principles that we're talking about in your next sales event. So that's what worked and 10 master lessons from 2016. The third thing is we're going to offer insights into when and how to use video, shopping, and lead gen ads. When are they most effective and how to best use them. And then the fourth one is how to segment and target your audience in a way that you may not have ever done before. How do you talk to audiences that are shopping other brands versus shopping your brands? We're going to reveal some of the ways that have worked for us. And then finally, the last thing is we're going to open up for questions and answers. How's that?
I think that sounds great. Where do we start?
We're going to start with Amy.
Amy, bring it.
All right. Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Like all of you on this call, probably, one of my responsibilities as marketing director for Home Run Auto Group was to come up with several sales events throughout the year that do what? Sell cars, of course. I was very confident in my response to be able to do this, but felt a little like this little girl in this picture here. Another retail sales event, be creative. I didn't quite know where to start because there's just so many sales events out there. So I started at the beginning, and at the beginning is thinking about how important it is to be creative and to think differently about your event. So when you're thinking differently about your event, you want to now more than ever fight for attention. And fighting for attention in this day and age is so much harder than it was even a couple months ago. And if you go to the next slide, I want you to see this graphic from Deloitte. This is a new study that just came out a month ago. And the question here is, which are the things that you typically do while you're watching TV? So while people are multitasking, and this is Generation X. And you can see why it's so important to grab people's attention, because they're not just watching TV, they're not just online, they're text messaging while they're on TV, they're browsing and surfing the internet, they're on social media, they're reading emails. This is Generation X. And if you go to the next slide, this is millennials. Millennials are not just doing one thing, so it is so important for you to fight for attention. Also, if you go to the next slide, social media has moved way beyond being just a socializing tool. 96% of millennials are on social media, and they use it as their primary source of news, even more than television. So it's very, very important to realize who your audience is as you're putting together your sales event. So number one, what you need is a real good hook. And this is kind of a no-duh or a no-brainer comment. But let's talk about a real good hook in the day and age where you need to fight for attention. So one thing you need to do is think like a consumer, and the other thing you need to do is make it different. So let's break that down a little bit. If you're going to think like a consumer, you have to think about what's the buzz right now, what is going on. I'll tell you, I sat in a dealer meeting a couple months ago where there was a full discussion on giving away a case of Diet Coke as a prize, and you really need to think like a consumer. Is that something that you yourself would go after? And you have to think that these people, if you're going to do a sales event, They're in market for a vehicle. They'd like the best deal, and you can be creative there with that deal. If not on the vehicle, then what on else could you be creative with? And what would put your dealership on that very short shopping list? So think like a consumer. And the first example I want to give you of thinking like a consumer is an event that we did at Home Run Auto Group last year for Labor Day called the Happy Halloween Labor Day event. And this is our first case study that I wanted to show. This is for Labor Day weekend 2016. And what the hook was if you buy a car during Labor Day weekend and it rains an inch or more on Halloween, your purchase is free.
What?
So this is an example.
Wait. I come to your dealership and I buy a $30,000 car on Labor Day weekend. And then on Halloween, if it rains more than an inch, you're going to pay off my car.
Yep.
No.
Your purchase is free. And we did this for 25 dealerships in an area. The results for that weekend is we increased sales 45% year over year. And Eliana, this is really an example of taking an incentive and trying to do something different and making it relative, making to what's going on in this day and age. So the other thing is
wait, no, you can't just leave us there. Did it rain?
It didn't rain.
It didn't rain. Of course it didn't rain.
It would have been awesome if it would have rained. We were insured if it rained, so it would have been great if it rained. But it didn't rain. No one got a free car. But I'll tell you, I think we kind of got our unfair share, that's what I'm trying to say, of the market. And also it just really gave the salespeople something to talk about with the consumer, with the customer, other than just haggling over deals. It really kind of drew the attention away. So the other thing that we want to do is make it different. If that wasn't different enough, one thing you can do is take ideas from other non-automotive retailers. We're doing something right now that's very different. A lot of retailers do BOGOs, buy one, get one, and that's something you typically don't think that a car dealership could do, but you can throw your own twist on that. Be hyper-local. Pay it forward. We have paid for pizzas for everyone at lunchtime, spent a small amount of money in a small market, and that has paid it forward tenfold. Anything that's old is new again. What comes around comes around again. And then also one thing that you can do to make it different is to partner with a local business. And that is our second case study that we did. And we partnered, we are in the Midwest, and we partnered with a local meat company that actually that is Newski's Bacon, and it's well-known bacon throughout the whole country. We did a partnership with them, and this was over on Black Friday. And you figure Black Friday is a time when people just want something for free, or they wanted something. So the hook here is included with your purchase of a new car is a year's worth of free meat. And so we had all the creative around that. The results around that across all stores was we increased sales 32% year over year. So those are two examples of thinking like a consumer and having a sales event, and then also making it different and having a sales event. If you need help with ideas, here are some ideas for you. For number one, creating a real good hook. Any of these resources, take a screen grab of this slide right here. Upwork.com, Scripted.com, 99designs.com, and Fiverr.com. If you are not working with an agency, any of these resources can help you come up with ideas and resource freelancers to help you with creating a really good hook. So that is number one. Oh, Eliana, it looks like we have our first poll question.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much. Amy, you're killing it out there today. Good job. All right, audience, we only have 2 poll questions for you today. And you know what? The first one is on the screen now. We'd love it if you get involved. We want to know, have you ever used a real good hook for one of your sales events? Please select one of the following. Heck yeah, I'm a marketing genius. No, not yet. I'm not really that creative. No, but after seeing all of this, I will. Management wouldn't go for it. or I need more coffee for that. Once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and share the results. I also want to make sure I tell all of you out there in the audience, if you have questions, and it really doesn't matter if it's for Scott Empringham or for Amy Fulford, send those questions in. We're looking forward to a really nice Q&A session with both of these creative people, and love to know if there's any way that we can help you knock it out of the park for your next sales event. All right, so the votes are coming in nice and fast. Good job, audience. We're almost there. We'll give it a few more seconds. So again, have you used a real good hook for one of your sales events? Please select one of the following. Heck yeah, I'm a marketing genius. No, not yet. I'm not that creative. No, but after seeing all of this, I definitely will. Management wouldn't go for that, or ugh, I need more coffee for this. All right. You know what? Let's close this poll. Amy and Scott, if you're ready, I'll close this poll and we'll share the results.
Let's close it.
All right, let's do it. Audience, thank you so much for all of your votes. Here we go. This is interesting. 29% of today's audience says, heck yeah, I'm a marketing genius. No one said, no, not yet, I'm not that creative. Another 29% said, no, but after seeing all of this, I will. 29% said management wouldn't go for it, and 14%, well, they just need more coffee before they can discuss any of this stuff. So that's kind of interesting. It's kind of very evenly split among heck yeah, I did, no, not yet, and heck no, management would never go for that. So Scott, and especially you, Amy, any words of advice we can give to people who are saying management wouldn't go for it, or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to talk about that in a couple of slides, Eliana.
Oh, good. Well, then please, by all means, carry on.
Okay, thanks for that poll question. So number one was find a real good hook. And number two is whatever you come up with for your sales event, it must play well online. That is a no-brainer. And just to give you some examples of playing well online, all of the sales events, the two case studies that I shared with you, the free meat event and the Happy Halloween Labor Day event, was very easy to get across in small banner ads and pre-roll online. It was a clear, easy, simple message that played well online. And with that, I think we're going to show two commercials. The first one is for the Happy Halloween Labor Day event, and the second is for the Black Friday event. And these are actually just social media videos that we created. And the second one is from the Black Friday Great Meat event. Okay, so short 15-second videos. If you guys are, and girls, are not already using this this resource, I highly suggest it. It's called Promo, and here is the URL for it. But you actually can create these videos like I did for, I think they're $20 a video, and you can create them. All the music and the visual are all licensed for online. It took me not a very long time and not a lot of money at all to create those videos and many other videos for social media and for the web dealer websites and for online. Another resource I want to give to you is Canva. Canva is a great way. I created all the banners and everything myself on Canva. It is like Photoshop for people that don't know how to use Photoshop, and it's extremely inexpensive. So these are two tools for success when you talk about playing well online and creating good creative online. You don't need a big agency anymore. You need tools for Canva and Promo promo will help you create that online. So hopefully those are some good resources for you. Now, we talked about this, Eliana, before, and that's just getting buy-in. And that is number 3 on creating a great sales event. And that is getting buy-in. So you must, it's absolutely imperative to get the leadership excited, to motivate all the general managers and all the employees from the salespeople in the front to the service people in the back, and activate all of these events. And so it kind of goes along with getting a real good hook. You can have a real good hook, but if you can't activate it on the sales floor, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So for our Happy Halloween Labor Day event, we motivated GMs and employees by having a contest for whichever dealership personifies Halloween the best on Labor Day. And we had one dealership dress up completely like the Wizard of Oz. We had another dealership was all Superman themed. It was just a lot of fun. And then it created a lot of healthy competition, as there was some smack talk and some fun excitement going with employee-created videos and snapshots just to get the word out that they were participating. So number 4, don't skip the boring
this whole
stuff.
thing up with kid pictures and puppy pictures, and I'm good.
I know. You know, this is a boring stuff, but it's really important when you're creating a great sales event to not only have the leadership buy-in, and I didn't really talk about that much, so I want to kind of back up just a minute and say that it's really very important to have your idea spelled out from top to bottom, what the idea is, how it's going to be activated, how you can make it happen. Ask yourself all the what ifs. What if this happens? What if it rains in 25 markets? Are we covered? What if someone doesn't like me? Like, ask yourself all the questions that leadership would ask and have the answers ready to go. And then as far as the boring stuff goes, if you want to back up one, create a playbook. This is part of the idea of getting everyone on the same page. I created a GM playbook that had all the details of the event in the playbook, and walked through this with them in person too, what the advertising was, what we were going to do for social media, 10 things that they can do as a dealership, just ideas to bring to life to activate the event, and then a flyer that they could use around the community. So another part of the boring stuff is compliance. We have an entire compliance department that makes sure that everything that we do is complies with federal and state laws and advertising and online, Facebook laws, everything. So we run everything through that to make sure that what we're doing makes sense from a compliance and legal perspective. So once again, that boring stuff that actually is very, very important in having a successful event. So with that being said, my part will talk about creating a real good hook, making sure that it plays well online, getting buy-in from the top down, and that takes time. Don't try to turn around an event in a week. Don't skip the boring stuff. That's really important, because you can have all the creative and the fun stuff and then have it fall flat because it's not compliant. That, Eliana, is my part of creating a good sales event.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Excellent. I think there's a prize alert, right? So we have a survey question. Is that correct, Eliana?
Are we doing what? Isn't this early? This is early. Are we giving this prize away right now? Okay, I can do that. I thought this was a little early to give away the prizes, but sure, we can do that. Is that what we're doing, Scott?
This is what I see on the screen. I think we go with it.
Hey, I'll go with it. All right, audience.
Oh, no, wait a second. No, we can't possibly go with this because I think, Amber, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't even have the answer to this question. Is that
No,
incorrect?
They have the answer to this question, but What's the next slide?
Taking it online. Taking it digital.
I'll tell you what, let's just keep going because I think it's too early to give away prizes just yet.
All right, perfect. So now let's assume, so thank you, Amy. So let's assume now that the folks online, in fact, I think it's about 40 to 50% either said they haven't yet done something like gotten a real good hook yet, or management wouldn't go for it. I think if you roll the percentage up, about 50% either hadn't tried something like that yet or felt management wouldn't go for it. Let's assume now that you're thinking differently. You've come up with a creative hook. You've really tried to make sure that it appeals to people online. You've got some buy-in and it's compliant. The next question is, how do you unleash this idea online? How do you take it digital? This next slide really starts to talk to you a little bit about where to take it digital. And Facebook is such a perfect medium to leverage. Some data that probably everybody's familiar with, a few key points. Number one, 180 million people in the U.S. are active on Facebook every day. That's massive, massive scale. And they're on Facebook for about 50 minutes, right? The other key point is they're accessing their accounts for up to 14 times a day. And that becomes really, really important. That insight that people are coming back to Facebook 14 times a day throughout the day is huge. So more than half the U.S. population is there. Next question, next slide, really is social media, or is Facebook a social media platform, or is it like a media platform? I would suggest, and many would agree, that now Facebook is not so much a social media platform, but it's one of the largest media platforms in the world and in the U.S. It's where people are. We want to fish where the fish are. The other key insight, of course, is over 90% now of Facebook users are on mobile, which makes it really, really important to work with a strong provider like DealerOn who gets it, because so much can fall apart if you're driving to a website that is not mobile optimized. Okay, why Facebook as well? Not just the fact that it's massive in scope and size, but of course, if you look at the scale of Facebook, this is just a dynamite slide comparing the in-market shoppers on Facebook and Instagram versus YAutos, Auto Trader, and the next sort of available different sites. Because of the scale, because of 180 million people are active on Facebook, by the very definition that so many people are there, 64%, significantly more people are active online. So this is where the fish are, and if you use the tools properly, you can find people that are in market. What tools can you use to find those people that are in market? External and internal data. The first and foremost, most important thing that you have access to right now is internal data. And I don't know whether we can ask questions right now. Eliana, is it appropriate to ask questions where you can see people answer with the click of a button or no?
Yeah, they can write in if you ask them a question. What kind of question are you going to ask them?
Really fast then. Here's a key question. How many of you online right now are taking advantage of internal data? That is your owners, lessees, and hand raisers, ownership data, or people that have requested information. People that have written in, you've got their email address. How many of you guys are taking that data and uploading it to Facebook? Eliana, can you see the answers by any chance?
Yes, Adam said yes. Timothy said, I use. Anne-Marie says yes, she also does that. Alicia, oh, that's a cute name. Alicia says yes as well. Timothy says lookalikes are great.
Excellent. Then I mean, your audience is obviously. If anybody said
yes, is that not normal? Do a lot of dealerships not? That doesn't happen in most dealerships.
Well, I can tell you that just by definition, that the folks that are on this webinar are the top probably 1 or 2% in the nation, because
yeah, they are.
Not taking advantage of this. But I mean, if you think about it, people that are attending a webinar are constantly learning and growing, and we've got probably an interesting sample group here. The fact that they are is fantastic. They're probably ahead of the group. In fact, I know they're ahead of the group. They are taking advantage of internal data, and they're building custom groups. Whoever it was that said lookalike data is great, or Alicia, I think it was, taking advantage of first-party data. That data allows you to develop these custom audiences, which gives you the ability to target them one-to-one right into their newsfeed. You can upload your owners, your lessees, your hand raisers, and really create dynamite custom audiences so that you can find people that are active on Facebook, that are in market, that are also predisposed potentially to buy from you. Because either A, they're existing owners that are now in market again, B, they've already given you their email address and are potentially in market, Or C, you're one of the dealerships that's combing through Facebook and grabbing bulk data and looking for other people that are in market to buy vehicles. So this is the game changer, taking advantage of either first-party data, your own data, or external data, the bulk data. Let's go to the next slide. So what are some of the other things that you can take advantage of? Before I do this, here we have a poll question.
That's right. It's our second and final poll question of the day. Audience, you've been so good to us already. So I'm hoping that you'll do it once more and answer this poll question for us. Are you actively using Facebook advertising at your dealership? Please select one of the following. Heck yeah, I'm a Facebook ad genius. Hope I said that right. Is that how you wanted me to say it, Scott? Yes. Thankfully, though, we hired someone else to do it for us. Yes, but I admit I'm not getting great results and I need help. No, not yet. I'm not sure where to get started on Facebook ads. Or, nah, I'm a MySpace fan. Do we have any MySpace fans out there? Man, I can't even, if you put me on MySpace right now, I don't even think I'd remember how to use it. It has been a solid decade since I think I've seen MySpace. I can't believe it's still hanging out there. All right, audience, you guys are doing so good. Thank you so much. Almost everyone's already voted, so if you're ready, I will close this poll and share the results. Audience is on it today.
Cool.
Let's do it. All right, it looks like 62%, the overwhelming majority, 62% of today's audience says, heck yeah, I'm a Facebook ad genius. 23% said, yes, thankfully we hired someone to do it for us, so almost a quarter of today's audience. 8% of today's audience said, yes, but they admit they're not getting great results and they need help. And then another 8% of today's audience says, no, not yet. They really just don't know where to get started on Facebook ads. And we don't have any MySpace fans on here today. Just wanted to let you know. All right, so Scott, is that what you were expecting, or do we have any words of advice?
No, I think once again, your group, anybody that's on this webinar is probably the 1 or 2%. So it indexes a little bit higher. The fact that, what is it, 80 some odd percent, 85% are active on Facebook is fantastic. Actually, larger than that. So the group index is much higher than the average random sample of dealers, but it makes sense. And hopefully we can take it to the next level with some of the things that we're talking about.
Agreed. Keep going. You and Amy are a great team, by the way. I just wanted to let you know. This is a really, really fantastic presentation. So thank you so much. Keep going.
It was fun to work with Amy on this campaign because ultimately what she did is she really worked with all of her dealerships to set us up for success by thinking differently, by having a great hook, by getting buy-in from all the different dealers and the staff there and making sure everything was compliant. We really were empowered to really go after what we do really well, which is find people online and really communicate in unique ways. So the second step here, I guess the sixth step of going digital, is to really think about your audience. So the people that are listening to this, my guess is they're going after people with different custom audiences. I want to give you a framework to think a little bit differently about how you might go after an audience and sort of think like a psychologist. So on this next slide, this guy is a very, very interesting guy. His name is Robert Cialdini. And I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this guy, but I do want to share just a fast story that I'll be referencing for the remainder of the presentation. He wrote this book called The Psychology of Persuasion. And I think, Amber, if you could forward to the next slide, I want to just make sure something. Okay. In the book, he talks about this philosophy of getting people to really commit. And he talks about how to persuade people. And I want to offer you this fast story as a metaphor for how you can think about how to persuade people in your audience. And the principle he talks about is how powerful it is to get people to commit to very small steps. And then once they've committed to small steps, how easy it is to move them along in a line after they made a small commitment. And he tells a really amazing story about a hospital that came to him that was fairly frustrated, quite honestly, because they couldn't get people to donate bone marrow. Really, really kind of a scary, painful, potentially painful process. And the hospital came to him and said, look, you're a doctor of persuasion. You wrote this great book. How can you help us get more people to sign up for this kind of scary thing? Because we're having miserable results and we need your help. Really, he broke it down in a couple of pieces. He said, what are you doing right now? So imagine this. The hospital was dispatching people into their local neighborhood, knocking on doors, and point blank asking people, would you be willing to donate bone marrow for this cancer research we're doing? And as you can imagine, you're watching TV, you're having lunch, you're having some time with the family. It's a scary thing. And they're asking for a major commitment, almost like a major commitment of buying a car. And so after knocking on the door, of course, they get just very, very, small results, a 1%, a half a 1% take rate. And that might sound familiar. So Dr. Cialdini says, I've got an idea. Let's leverage this principle of commitment and consistency and break down this massive decision into like 3 chunks. And if we can get them to make a small commitment in the beginning, the people that make the small commitment are more likely to take the following commitment and third commitment. And here's what he did. It was really, really easy. Imagine this. You're at home, you're watching TV with your family, and somebody knocks on the door, and it's already some irritation there, but the person greets you with one simple question. Would you be willing to support cancer research by simply wearing this pin for the following week and just let people know that this is kind of who you are and this is what you're doing? Would you be willing to wear this pin for a week at work or at church or at home or whatever it is, out and about for a week, and then at the end of the week I'll come back and collect this pin? Now imagine, Eliana, you're probably more likely to do something small like that versus making a commitment to donate bone marrow. Would you agree?
Agreed. But, bone marrow, that's like, they drill into your hip. I mean, it's painful, I hear. I mean, you're right. That's a huge commitment, but something as easy as just wearing a pin for a week.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And this is a true story. So of the X number of people that receive a visitor at their door, a huge percentage, as you can imagine, say, yeah, I'm fine wearing a pin. Of course I'd be wearing a pin. I support cancer research. And the people on the webinar could probably agree that they would be much more likely to wear a pin than they would to commit to something major like that. So a week later, same people come back to the door and they said, thank you so much. They collect the pins, and about half of the audience, people that were canvassed, agreed to wear the pin. Second step, they said, you know what, while you're here, would you be willing, since I picked up the pin and you wore this pin, would you be willing to watch this 2-minute video of the people at the hospital that you're actually helping by just raising awareness? And as you can imagine, 80 or 90% of the people said, yeah, of course, I've got 2 minutes to watch a video. Sure, go ahead and show me the video. Also a very, very simple step. After they watch the video, they ask for the final step. They said, you know what, since you watch this video, would you be willing to make another just small commitment? Could I schedule you for some time to visit the people at the hospital so that you could meet some of the people that you're making such a big impact on? And as you can imagine, a decent percentage of people agreed to do that. The final step after the pin, after the video and the commitment to go to the hospital, the third step, once they're at the hospital, they of course made the final request. And these are people that have worn a pin, watched a video, agreed to come down to the hospital. They made the final request. Since you are obviously so committed to this cause, would you be willing to make the donation? An overwhelming percentage of the people did. Largest percentage ever made the commitment. Okay, longer story than I intended, but it's really important to have this sort of picture in your head. If you have been going out and advertising to people during a sales event and asking them to make the commitment to come down to your store and buy a vehicle, there are some similarities. And so what I want to offer you is a new way to make smaller commitments, to get people to make smaller commitments and then move them down the purchase path, move them down the purchase funnel. It was very, very successful. And so here's taking a break from that story, set that story aside for a second. What if you were able to take your entire market of in-market truck buyers or SUV buyers or car buyers and segment them into 3 different categories: hot, warm, and cold. Hot are people that have already bought from you. They're your first-party data. I think Alicia and some other folks said they're using first-party data. Those are your owners, and they're now in market again. Those are your hot guys. Your warm guys could be people that have given you their email address for a particular event you were at or maybe requested a quote, but they've not yet bought from you. And the cold, or let's say the third-party data, the bulk data that says they haven't bought from you and they're actively shopping for other brands. It's absolutely possible right now with the tools we're going to show you could do this. And here's what we did at Rhinelander. So we know we went to Rhinelander, one of Amy's dealerships, and we took the data, we segmented into 3 ways: cold, warm, and hot. And just to briefly recap them, the cold folks were people that had no interest or very low interest in Rhinelander because they hadn't bought from Rhinelander, and they're in market actually for other brands, say Honda, Toyota, and Ford. The warm folks, they'd not bought from Rhinelander, one of Amy's dealerships, but they were in market for the same brands that Rhinelander sells. And then, of course, the third group, they'd already bought from Rhinelander. We knew those folks because of the first-party data. We could take that group of in-market buyers and segment them into those three categories: cold, warm, and hot. And because we knew that, then we knew that we had an advantage. What if we talked to them differently? Imagine the guy canvassing the door, and instead of just asking for an outright commitment to the cold group, you asked them to take a small commitment. What would that commitment be? Before I show you the slide, what would that commitment be to somebody who's actively shopping another brand? Would it be, here's the deal? Would it be, hey, here's why, the key why buys for a vehicle that we sell, trying to get them to look at another vehicle? Or could it be just a video? Maybe like one of the videos that Amy showed you earlier. I would suggest on this next slide, Google really has the answer. And if I remember correctly, this next slide is the key. What I'd like to suggest is, for now on, when you start looking at your cold audience, you consider video as perhaps the best way to go introduce yourself to them. It's the #1 driver of consideration for auto. People are much more likely to engage, make a tiny commitment, watch a 15, 30-second, or even 2-minute video, and it could be something entertaining. It could be a walk around. It could be just about anything you could use your imagination to use. But I'd highly suggest video is the key, and that's the tactic. Go ahead and build the slide if you would, Amber. Okay, so how does it work? One of the keys is to take the video, and what we did with Rhinelander is we said, okay, what if we could take that video, isolate a cold audience, and target that entire cold audience with this video? We knew that a percentage would watch the video, would watch it for 3 seconds, 25%, 50%, 75%, or the entire video. And once they did, we could build a custom audience of people that have watched the video or worn the pin for a week. Now we know that they've watched the video, they've at least engaged with us a little bit. We know that they've now seen this neat event. If they've worn the pin for a week or they've watched the video, what do we do next? Well, we could move along the purchase path and we could build a custom audience. Question is, how do you build a custom audience? If you can, take a picture of the URL at the bottom or write it down. We'll leave it here for a second. But on our website, we actually have a video that'll walk you through exactly how to build a custom audience. If I can, just show of hands, how many people are building custom audiences right now? Eliana, I'd like to see how relevant this is to the group. What percentage of you right now are building custom audiences off of people who are engaging with your ads specifically? Is that possible to do, Eliana, to see how relevant this is?
Yeah. People are writing in. Anne Marie says yes. Adam says we are. Timothy says I am. And those are the only, oh, here we go. Greg says hand up. Alicia says yes, but need to do more. Renee says yes. So there's a nice big cross-section of people today who are doing just that.
Percentage-wise, what are we talking?
Oh, there's no way for me to know that.
Okay. All right. Okay. If you are one of the folks that is doing it, fantastic. You're definitely ahead of the game. I don't think that's any surprise. If you haven't yet done it, that's okay. Start doing it now. Go to that website address and start doing it. Go ahead and build the slide if you would, Amber. Okay. So let's imagine now that you've targeted your cold audience, just like we did with Rhinelander. We targeted the cold audience with a video, and you've built a custom audience of people that engage with the video. What do you do next? Wouldn't it be cool if just a little bit later on that afternoon, you could hit them with something else? You know they've worn the pin for a week or they've watched a video. What would you target the warm audience with? The people that have already either A, raised their hand and given you their email address and expressed some interest, or B, it's a custom audience from somebody who's watched the video. We'd like to suggest a carousel ad at this point can be really, really a very, very smart move. And as you can see, as Amber sort of moves through the slides, a carousel ad helps you introduce different features and benefits and why buy at your dealership. You can allow them to shop inventory. You can talk about special offers. But this is a great sort of second step in the process, just like the one before with the hospital. This is a great second step for people that are already now familiar with you. Now you're trying to introduce them. Why buy from you guys? Features and benefits, shop inventory, special offers, carousel ads are absolutely the way to go. And then the key is when somebody clicks on your shopping ad, your carousel ad, or your video ad, and they go visit your website, make sure you're installing a pixel and you're retargeting. Go to the next slide if you would, Amber, and I'll ask this question while we're doing this. What percentage or how many of you guys, if you would show of hands, are dropping a Facebook pixel on your website to do retargeting? If you can, I'd love to see if this is relevant to you guys. Maybe everybody's doing it. Maybe some people are doing it. I bet you the same people that raised their hand before are doing it.
Okay, well, let's see. Timothy wrote in. He has his hand up. Adam says, all of our stores absolutely are. Alicia says, yes, for me. Anne Marie says, yes. Adam says, yep, for us too. And so it might be, Lee is jumping in. Hey, Lee. He says yes to that as well. So.
All right. Well, excellent. Excellent. And I'm sorry, last question. Please raise your hand if you're not while I'm showing you this thing. Please raise your hand if you're not while I go through this. If you're not, please go to fpcdigital.com/dealer/resources. We walk you through exactly how to download your Facebook pixel and how to get it to your website provider. A little 2-minute video will walk you through that. If you're not leveraging a Facebook pixel, do it today. This could be one of your action items that you do. If you do nothing else today, this is a great start to be able to retarget people that are visiting your website. Anybody say they are not yet doing it out of curiosity, Eliana?
Is anyone not doing it? Please write on in and let us know.
Okay.
No one's written in.
Nobody's written in?
No, but they also might not want to admit it.
So, create a custom audience. I think we're talking about this. And then you could also create a custom audience of anybody who's been to your website, which is also a fantastic custom audience. I won't labor on this too long. I'll let you know that we do have a video out of exactly how to do this to create a custom audience of the people who visit your website. And it's really, really quite easy. So now imagine you have targeting and messaging going out to your cold group with a video. Your warm group is receiving a shopping ad, carousel ad. What do you send to your hot folks? Your hot folks on this next slide, this is probably the simplest thing to do that most of the dealers we work with around the country are doing. It's targeting targeting current customers with offers. There's two parts of this. The first part is how do you target your current customers? I think many of the folks on this call already talked about how they are uploading customer lists. If you have not yet uploaded your customer list, visit the site. There's a 2-minute video that tells you exactly how to do that. Now, once you've done that and you've uploaded your custom, your audience, your owners or lessees and hand raisers to Facebook, here's what you could do to target those people with an offer ad. Click to call ad, website click ad, or lead gen click ad. And we've had all different sorts of results with each different one. The most popular for us, the most inexpensive, the most targeted would be website click ads for us, where we're driving massive amounts of traffic to either websites or VDP pages. But on the next slide, I think the key question here is, so now you've got this picture. You've got audience segmented. You're delivering cold, warm, and hot messaging. You're even building custom audiences of people that are moving through the purchase path. There's so many more things that you could do. But this is, to bring it full circle, kind of an idea of how you could approach people differently and move them along the purchase path. The final key is, how do you measure success? And I can tell you one of the things that we do. On this next slide, we'll walk you through how we are now measuring success. By segmenting your audience, by keeping them separate, a cold audience, a warm audience, and a hot audience, we can now actually measure the groups totally separate so that we're looking at how the cold group is behaving or reacting to our videos. Is there one video that is better at converting people? How successful are we at pulling cold people through to warm and through to hot? What's the actual cost of marketing to our cold group? Wouldn't that be cool to know which group is your most profitable to go after? By holding out the groups separately, you can start to get insights into how much the true cost is to market to the cold group. And if you're a Ford store, wouldn't it be cool to know that you have a better shot at Honda than you do at Toyota, and you're more profitable at going after Honda folks? These are some of the insights that can be gleaned from holding out the group separately and measuring them separately. Next slide. is a prize alert. And I think I turn it over to you. Is that right, Eliana?
Well, no, we're going to just let everyone know, yes, you have an opportunity to win one of these prizes in a little bit. We're not quite there yet, but let's keep going.
Okay. Okay, so the 10 proven steps to dominate your next sales event are as follows. As Amy pointed out, get a real good hook. And before you allow management to say no, look at some different ideas. Like she talked about, look at things outside the industry, inside the industry. Come up with some ideas. Find things that play well online. There's so many resources now that allow us to do really amazing things online. Oop. Could you go back really fast? Oh, that is, oh, I think you actually did. Thank you so much. Those are a bunch of suggested resources. Now go back if you would, Amber. Get buy-in from management. Don't skip the boring stuff. And then in terms of marketing your event online, take it digital. Make Facebook an absolute foundation for something that you're doing. Think about how your audience behaves and consider segmenting them into cold, warm, and hot. Address them differently, and then measure everything you do. On the next slide, of course, are a bunch of resources for you, including the website address. It's absolutely free. We've got all kinds of videos to walk you through it. Even, I think, if you give us your email address, there's a 10-week e-course on a whole bunch of other sort of hacks and strategies to build some momentum.
Nice.
I think, oh, should I go through the action items?
Yeah, unless you want Amy to do it. Yeah.
All right. Action items, and then hopefully we'll do the prize alert. It's a very, very cool prize alert. Action items. Number one is brainstorm 3 real good hooks for your next sales event. Before you let management say no, come up with some really good hooks. And Amy introduce you some resources, and they'll help brainstorm some ideas as well. Consider running a video and building a custom audience. Video does so well on Facebook, and it's one of the fastest ways to build some of those custom audiences and get the word out. Consider carousel ads and targeting custom audiences, and we have videos that show you exactly how to do that. Ask your website provider to install your Facebook pixel and a video to show you how to do that. And of course, upload your customer list. There's fewer things you could do that are cheaper and more efficient than actually uploading a list of people who are predisposed to buy from you and making your targeting that much more effective. Those are 5 action items you can do today, and hopefully you can do those things. And prize alert or no?
No. Thank you so much, Scott. You are jumping. You can't wait to give away these prizes, I think.
But I thought we skipped one of the best ones.
This is awesome. Thank you so much. Amy, you're still there too, right? Amy?
Sure is.
Amy, you still here? You still with us? Amy?
You bet.
Hopefully Amy's
I'm
still
still
here.
here. I just had to get off mute.
Okay, there you are. Okay, good. All right. Thank you so much, Amy and Scott. Great presentation. Okay, audience, I would like to ask you to send in your questions. We got Scott Empringham and Amy Fulford, and they're both here ready to get to your questions and help you make your next sales event a dominant sales event. All right. No, Amy left due to no prizes. Greg, I got 2 great prizes coming up. Greg, are you ready for this? Because if you are, you got another minute before we get to it. So get your fingers nimble. Start the exercises. All right. Before we do prizes, though, I want to ask you to get your questions in. Get your questions in. And then also I want to direct your attention over to the handouts section of the GoToWebinar interface. In that handout section, you are going to find Scott and Amy's slide deck in there. It's available for immediate download, and you need to download it before the end of this broadcast so you have all of that great information at your fingertips, all right? So go onto your GoToWebinar interface and look for the word that says handouts. Click on the little triangle next to the word handouts. It'll open up, and right there you'll be able to do a direct download to your computer of Scott and Amy's slide deck. All right? All right, so get those questions in, and now let's do the giveaways.
Eliana, should I be having my webcam on or no?
I would love it if you put your webcam on. You too, Amy.
All right, this is very exciting here.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. We do need some questions for the Q&A session, so think of some good questions. I know. Amy and Scott covered all their bases. All right, here we go. It's that time. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, I announced that our good friends over at Flashpoint, they're giving away a tremendous prize on today's webinar. First, One lucky webinar attendee is going to win a Snapchat campaign. It's valued at $200 and includes everything you'll need: a personalized account management, the media buy, and a custom Snapchat geo filter. So cool. Great prize for your dealership. All you have to do is be the first person to answer this giveaway question. Okay, we're going to do this prize first, and then we'll get to the grand prize, okay? All right, everyone, here we go. Good luck. Now, I'm going to ask that if there are any vendors on the call, we love having you on our DealerOn webinars. Always do, always will. But as you can probably tell, this prize is intended for dealership personnel only. So we're going to ask you to please kindly sit this giveaway fun out and let somebody from a dealership win this. All right, here we go, everyone. Good luck. Which of the sales events that Amy discussed increased sales the most year over year? Adam Beisenthal, you are the first person to get it right. The Labor Day Halloween deal. Congratulations. Let me write this down. Adam, you are a winner today. Congratulations, Beisenthal. Okay. Adam, your name looks familiar, but I don't think you've ever won a prize on my show before, have you? If you have, awesome. If you haven't, even more awesome. I love first-time winners. Oh, he says never. Fantastic. Okay, Adam, I just want you to know I need the name of your dealership so I can give you a proper congratulations. Now, our good friends over at Flashpoint, they're going to be connecting with you either through phone or email to get that cool prize set up for you. Remember, it's a Snapchat campaign. It's valued at $200. They're going to manage it for you, the media buy, and you get a cool geo filter as well. And Adam says, we're from Drive Auto Group up north in Toronto. That's okay, right, Scott? You do Toronto, right? All right, excellent.
I'm with Montreal right now.
Oh, fabulous. All right. Congratulations, Adam, and your friends over at Drive Auto Group. You won a really cool prize. Okay, don't worry. Guess what? We have another great prize to give away. And I'm still looking for questions from the audience, so please send in those questions. All right, Adam, you're going to be hearing from our friends at Flashpoint about that, all right? Okay, Adam, you're already a winner, so I'm going to ask you to kindly sit this one out and let somebody else win the second prize, which is a grand prize. That's right. One lucky attendee is going to win a $1,000 custom ad campaign designed to drive shopping traffic to your website. Flashpoint's going to handle everything for you. All you have to do is give them a vehicle offer and then sell the cars. It's awesome. And hopefully you love the results, and they're going to ask you to please give them a testimonial and maybe even become a case study for other dealers. Awesome prize for your dealership. All right, everyone, here we go. This is not an easy question. It's actually a three-part answer. So I want you to really think about it. Do not send me the answers in three different things. It needs to all be in one, all right? Do not push submit until it's the whole answer is in there. All right, good luck, everyone. Here we go. Name the three audience categories, their respective level of interest, and the tactic used to advertise to each. Name the three audience categories, their respective level of interest, and the tactic used to advertise to each. I know, it's a hard question, but it's a $1,000 prize.
As close as you can.
As close as you can. Okay, so you're close, Alicia. Alicia got one part of it right, but that's not enough. So she did cold, warm, hot. That's nice, but that is only the audience categories. So now what we need is we need you to add the respective level of interest and the tactic used to advertise to each.
Keep going, Alicia. You're on a roll. Do this.
So Greg wrote...
Oh, go ahead.
Greg didn't get it all either. Greg, you wrote 6 of the things, but not 9 of the things. So
What did it say?
he got hot, warm, cold, Facebook video, carousel, and targeted. He says math is hard. That's right, Greg. Math is hard. Kids, you stay in school now, okay?
Between hot, warm, and cold. A hot is who? A warm is who, and a cold is who?
Yes. So the cold is how interested? Oh, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think we got a winner here. Devon Rajkumar, not a stranger to winning on my show. Let me tell you, he says, let's see if we got this right. Cold, low, video. Warm, medium, carousel, hot, high, offer.
Guy's a stud.
Is that a winner? Devon, you
winner.
heard it from the man. He said, you're a stud. Congratulations, Devon Rajkumar. You are once again a winner on a DealerOn webinar. I'm writing down your name, making it official. And of course, Devon, I'm sorry. I know you've won here on the show before, but I forgot the dealership you're with. So could you please tell me again? Rajkumar. Hey, we got another Canadian dealership up in here. All right. Let's see. Van Dusen Chevrolet Buick GMC in Ontario, Canada. Congratulations, Devon. You have just won yourself and your dealership a phenomenal $1,000 prize from Flashpoint. They're going to be doing a 30-day Facebook campaign for you to drive more traffic to your website. You're going to be hearing from our good friends over at Flashpoint.
Eliana, a bit of trivia. Did you know that Canada, Facebook, does not have Polk? So there's no third-party data like Polk.
Really?
I bet you knew that.
I did not know that. If you don't say it on my webinar, how am I supposed to know that?
He knows. But for our Canadian viewers, you guys, there's no Polk.
Just so you know, Adam, our first prize winner, he says we're neighbors, competitors. What?
We're targeting him with the Facebook ad. Sorry, brother.
Okay, and Adam also said he does know that there's no Polk data available on Facebook in Canada. He says, we know, it sucks. I'd have to agree with you. But I think, is that something that they're going to be fixing soon?
He knows there's plenty of other stuff you can do. It does suck, but there's other things you need, that can be done.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So Adam and Devon, congratulations on your respective prizes. You guys are big winners today. Audience, don't worry. It's okay. You know what? You didn't win today, but you know what? We give away cool prizes every week. So come on back to another DealerOn webinar. And that might be the day that you win a cool prize on DealerOn webinar. For right now, we're going to give big props to Adam and Devon on their big wins. And of course, we got to thank our good friends over at Flashpoint for their incredible generosity. All right.
Our pleasure.
I love it. All right. So believe it or not, I do not have one stinking question for you guys. Not one question came in because you guys did such a good job. Did such a good job of explaining everything to everyone. No one has a question? Not one question, audience? Really? This might be a first.
Or I bored everybody to death and they zoned out.
No, they're still here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
We still have a lot of people on, so I don't know why there's no questions. No one has any questions.
Okay.
And Amy, are you still there? Did we lose
still
Amy?
here.
Oh, Amy, you are still there. All right. Amy, I got to give you mad props. You are a really spectacular speaker. Thank you so much. Because, I expect vendors to be speakers because they always are in front of people and talking to people, but you laid it out and you did a great job. And I wish you continued success, my friend, at your dealerships and at, what is it, Moxie Partners?
Marketing Club.
Moxie Marketing Club. So congratulations on all the success and continued success as well going forward. And Amy, I hope this isn't the last time I get to talk to you, my friend. All right?
We're going to be a digital dealer.
Thanks, Eliana.
I hope I make it to Digital Dealer in Chicago. I don't know if they're going to send me, but I hope so. I love Digital Dealer. Great organization. And they do a really wonderful job with education. I'm all about the education. So, Scott, thank you so much. It's not your first time on my show, and I am certain it will not be the last either.
Thank you for having us. And obviously, we'd love to see you at Digital Dealer. Amy and I are going to be there in Chicago. And we'll also be hosting one of those forums with Google and Facebook. So thank you for having us. It was
yeah, as a matter of fact, if you go forward a slide, I just want everyone to know, everyone's going to be receiving a short survey. Please fill it out because we're always looking for great feedback. We want to know what you thought of today's presentation. It would really help us out. So please let us know. It's 3 short questions, right? Just asking for something small, right? 3 short questions. That's all. Okay, and yes, next slide. By the way, Scott and Amy, yeah, look at that. Look at that crew right there. You got Kelly McNerney on the panel. She's from Google, amazing presenter. And Trace from Facebook, we love. Okay, So if you're going to be anywhere near the Chicago area, Wednesday, June 7th for the Digital Dealer Automotive Workshop, this is one you are not going to want to miss. Let me tell you, all these 4 experts, they're going to be taking a deep dive, and they're going to be presenting best practices, proven strategies, and inside tips that are going to help you increase your sales, your service, your new and your used car sales, everything right now. Not something that might happen in a year. Like immediately, like immediate stuff. You're going to want to hear that. And for more information, you can check out digitaldealer.com. And yeah, please don't forget, I'm going to be emceeing again. I'm very honored. The 3rd annual Women in Automotive Conference. Amazing event. Amazing. Anyone who's been there can tell you it's July 9th through the 11th in Orlando, Florida. It's going to be focusing on training and retraining women in our industry to provide their skills and advance their careers to the highest level of success. And by the way, the early bird pricing is going to end at the end of May. You can save yourself $200 off the ticket. To find out more about the Women in Automotive Conference, please visit womeninautomotive.com. And boy, I hope to see you there. And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next DealerOn webinar, How to Give Awesome Sales Team Training in Only 10 Minutes a Day? What? Fact. Employee turnover is worsening. It's true. According to the 2016 NADA Dealership Workforce Study, retention is on a steep decline, with 67% of dealership employees leaving before 3 years. That's awful. Experts attribute this staggering statistic to a lack of training, knowledge, and or coaching at the dealership level. Do you want to reduce turnover, retain good employees, and see people thrive in a long-lasting career at your dealership? Of course you do. So Jennifer Suzuki has been training at the NADA Academy for the last 3 years, and she's going to teach you how to easily develop powerful, time-efficient training sessions that avoid burnout. A happy, well-trained, and fully motivated staff leads to improved productivity, bigger earnings, and increased dealership profitability. That is a win-win-win for your organization, your employees, and your bottom line. If you want to ensure people at your sales team have the tools to thrive and succeed and are ready to learn how to give awesome sales training in only 10 minutes a day, then don't you dare miss this presentation. Register now. And don't forget, DealerOn's weekly webinars are held Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, feel free to contact me directly. I'd love to hear from you. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio. You can track me down online. I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. I'm on all the automotive social networks. Or you know what? Make it easy and just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and I hope to see you all in our continuing education series. Take care.